Good morning. My name is Courtney Landrum, and I'll be your host for the next 30 minutes on St. Louis Voices. Today, I have in studio some really special people. And the reason I use special is because we have some people from the Special Olympics. Not only do we have Justin Dunning. Welcome, Justin.
Thanks for having us.
The Area 12 Director for the Special Olympics. But we also have Tony Hill and Charles Dunn, both global messenger athletes who compete with the Southern Illinois Grasshoppers. Welcome.
Thank you.
It's really cool to have you guys in today, and I can't wait to hear about everything that you're doing for the Special Olympics. But for those that don't know, the Special Olympics, I think most people know what it is, but why don't you give us a broad idea of what the Special Olympics does?
Well, basically, we're a global organization that empowers people with intellectual disabilities through sport. So here in Illinois and Missouri, we have 19 Olympic-style sports. And they compete year-round. A lot of people just think that it's, spring games or track and field, but actually these athletes are out competing in bocce and bowling and all throughout the year. And basically it brings everybody together, improves them socially through team and stuff like that. And it's really impressive to see what they can do because they've always been told what they can't do. And this is the opportunity for them to showcase themselves, and it's awesome.
Well, it is so awesome. And I was looking up some information on the Special Olympics before you came in here, and I didn't really know what the history was, especially with Eunice Kennedy, who saw a void, and her little tiny movement became something so powerful. How many athletes around the world are in the Special Olympics and compete?
There are so many to count. I mean, in Illinois alone, we have 23,000 athletes that are competing year-round, and that only includes athletes with intellectual disabilities. We also have unified partners where our athletes do not have disabilities, but they compete on the same team with our athletes, so it's cool to see.
Yeah, it is. And how long have you been with the Special Olympics, Justin?
I've actually been here for 4 years. I actually started as an intern up in Quincy, Illinois, and then worked my way back home. I'm originally from the Belleville area. I came back down here and have been working with us for 4 years.
And I would imagine being an intern, it changed your life in some way for you to stay with this organization.
Absolutely, because I don't want to say you don't grow up dreaming to be in the Special Olympics, or I didn't personally. I had other dreams, and then once I got involved in it, and it just kept growing, and I love sports, and this was my way to continue to be in sports. And then when you're around guys like Tony and Charles, it makes it hard to leave. I'm stuck.
You have a bond with the athletes and the people that are involved. Now, as Special Olympics messengers, tell us about what you guys do, what your part in the Special Olympics is.
Well, I've been in the Special Olympics since '74.
Really?
So, Special Olympics started in Chicago like in 1968. So, and then I came in around '74. So I've been in it for a while.
And you're not now. When you started in Special Olympics, you were competing.
Yes.
And in what sports did you compete?
I did a 25-yard wheelchair race, shot put, the walker race, softball.
What was your best sport?
All
of them?
Yeah, but the one that I like the most, and I think everybody that have the disability, is bowling. We all love bowling.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. And what about you? How did you start? And how did you become a global messenger?
The first time I started the Special Olympics was after I had both of my hips replaced one at a time, and I was kind of feeling down about myself, saying that, what am I going to do? I mean, what can I do? So their coach, Stacy Maffini, came along and picked me up and, straightened me up. And, she asked me to join the Special Olympics, and I've been with them. Now I'm on my 9th year and still going.
Do you know what sport you started with? What was your favorite when you started?
I think the first one we started was bowling.
Mm-hmm.
Bowling?
Which I have a 200 average.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a very good bowler.
Mm-hmm. A 200?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't think I've ever gotten above 120 in bowling. I have a really fat thumb, so bowling balls, they get stuck if it's the right weight.
Bowling it's a fun sport, and we just had our bowling tournament that's the last part of August. at the St. Clair Bowl
Fairview.
in Fairview Heights.
Mm-hmm.
And they both got gold there. They were on a team this year and got gold. So they'll go compete November 1st at sectional bowling, and then if they get gold there, they'll go to state. So.
Okay, so they go to sectionals, then they go to state, and then what happens after state?
Well, sometimes they have like World Games, which is just hosted this past year, and Illinois is given a certain amount of slots that they can go. So sometimes we have the opportunity to send those athletes on if they want to go on to World or National Games. So
Okay, could we be looking at the future state champions of bowling right here?
I think they have a pretty good chance. They're
yes,
team
we do.
bowlers, and they're really good.
That's
Yes,
awesome.
we do have a good chance at it.
And how much do you practice?
Usually we practice on Wednesdays, but right now we're practicing to do our regional bocce ball tournament in Highland Park, Illinois. And we've been practicing since these last few Wednesdays in the evening about 5:30.
So there's some traveling with this. And who is responsible for taking the athletes to the different
The coaches, the volunteer coaches that they volunteer their time, and a lot of times they'll take city transportation buses and stuff to get to the certain locations. But yeah, like I said, they practice year round, so pretty much every Wednesday all year they're having practice.
That's
so,
right.
It's amazing how the coaches just step up too and they get the job done.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's so rewarding. What are the ages that we're talking about when it comes to athletes in the Special Olympics? Because I would think we're talking you started in 1974.
Yeah.
Not saying you're not young still,
Right.
but you're not a 20-year-old.
I'm still young.
That's right. That's right.
Young at heart.
Well, they started. They started a new group. Like I think between 4. What is that?
We have young athletes program, which is between 2 and 7 years old in
Wow.
the schools.
Yeah, they had
Yeah,
just
we-
started that not too long ago. But the original, you had to be like 8 years old to be able to actually be in Special Olympics.
Okay.
Correct. And we still hold that. It's 8 years old is when they start traditional programs all the way up till, like, these guys still compete. And I won't give Charles' age away, but he did just have a birthday, and he is over 60. So I'll
Really?
just leave it at that. So
Charles, you look good.
Thank you very much.
And how old are you?
52.
52.
yeah, and both of them still compete in a lot of sports that we have.
All right. So what does the Special Olympics program mean to the athletes? I mean, you can see it with both Charles and Tony, what it means to them. You can see their eyes light up and talking about competing.
Let me put it this way. In the Special Olympics, it makes me feel good to know because I'm also a mentor and I also do the young athletes program, which I have kids from 3 years old on up. And, I put them through obstacle courses and, other things, and sometimes, they'll come up to me and say, well, I can't do this. And I'm always saying, you can do it. All you got to do is think positive. I said, if you don't think positive, you're not going to make it.
Yeah, it's a great message for anyone, really.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and,
ma'am.
and I bet you see the competitive spirit come out in
Oh, yes.
these athletes that maybe didn't have that in them at first, but it's there. It
Yes,
just
and-
took somebody like you.
And the kids, they have taken my heart. I mean, because, if I wasn't there for them, I mean, they wouldn't have anything to do. So, I love to see the smiles on the kids' faces. I like to make sure, that I'm keeping them happy.
I bet you are. I bet you make them laugh a lot too.
Yes, I do.
And now, Justin, anybody listening right now to the show, what can we do to help the Special Olympics?
There's a lot of things that people can do. I think the number one thing is to volunteer because in each of the areas, there's really only 1 or 2 staff that are putting on these huge events like bowling where we have 400, 500 athletes. So at bowling, we have 2 staff.
That's it?
That's it. That's all that's there. And the rest are just the support of the volunteers in the community. And people step up and are key volunteers is what we call them. So they help, train the volunteers the day of. And we never want anyone to feel like they don't know what they're doing. So we try to do as much as that ahead of time. But I mean, if you ask any one of these athletes, I mean, it's an experience more for the volunteers
It really
than it is for them. Yeah, a lot of the volunteers come and go, oh, I'm going to help the Special Olympics, you know? And then when they leave, they're like, man, I was the one that was helped. That was so cool. Like, they're building those relationships with these kind of guys, and year in and year out, they keep coming back.
Well, I'm sure you need funds to keep this going, too, though.
Absolutely, and that's the cool part about Special Olympics is we do not receive any government funding whatsoever. All of it is through fundraisers. A lot of our athletes step up, and they do Tootsie Roll drives and those kind of things. We run the Polar Plunge that happens in February, which I know a lot of people cringe at.
Yes, I'm cringing now.
But so everything that we have is because we have hardworking employees and strong volunteers that step up and do these kind of fundraisers for us. And I know we have a couple of them coming up that the community has actually stepped up and said we want to be partners and we want to sponsor.
Oh yeah, I did. I heard about the one in downtown Belleville. That's going to be a really cool event. Now are athletes going to be at that too?
Yes, athletes will be at that one. It's going to be October 17th, and it's in downtown Belleville, right outside of the Office Lounge.
I've been to the Office Lounge.
I have too. It's an awesome place, and it's right off the main road there. They're actually going to close down part of the street. They're going to have live music there, a DJ. They're going to have games, face painting, and Prairie Farms is also sponsoring the event. It's going to be both of them together. They'll have plates of food upon donation, and like I said, all of those proceeds, a 50-50 raffle, are going directly to Special Olympics Illinois.
And okay, so you said October 17th, and what time does all the fun start?
It's going to start at noon, and it's going to be a long night. They plan on having bands and stuff play till 8 o'clock that night. So,
I bet a lot of those bands are donating their time too.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
And then you have music, food, fun, and it's an all-day event downtown Belleville on October 17th. What if somebody listening right now, they can't volunteer at this point? They can't make it to the fundraiser on October 17th. Is there a way for an individual to donate funds to the Special Olympics?
Absolutely.
You can just go online.
Yeah, if you go online to www.soill.org, that is our main website, and you can get a lot of the information there. If you want your funds to stay local, we're Area 12, and you can look up the Area 12 office. It's located in Highland. So if you want your money to stay here, make sure that you send the check to our office here in Highland. And we're also on Facebook. It's Southwestern Area 12, Special Olympics Illinois, and you can look up all of our contact information if you want to get a hold of me directly, and we'll make sure your money stays in the local area.
All right. Well, I mean, it's a lot of great information, and it's so great meeting both of you, and thank you for being such incredible ambassadors for the Special Olympics.
Well,
no problem.
Actually, I'm an international.
You're international?
Yes. I had an opportunity to go to Japan, Panama, North Carolina for the training. North Carolina was for the training. But I actually got a chance to meet a lot of famous people.
Really?
Yeah, he served on the international board, so I always joke he's actually my boss. If you really, so I have to behave when I'm around him. He's my boss.
Well, look at all the cool things, all the incredible opportunities and doors that have opened for both of you because of the Special Olympics.
Because Special Olympics, I know for myself, because I felt like since there was like seven of us, well, actually 8, but by me having a disability, it made me feel like that I felt like I couldn't accomplish anything because of my disability. But with Special Olympics, it had opened up doors for me that I never would have thought that I would be able to do, and to be able to travel. Like Special Olympics have helped me to travel and things like that, and meet a lot of famous people and things.
Yeah, and you're giving great inspiration to a younger generation that's going to join into the Special Olympics and get all the same rewards that you've gotten out of it. But again, like Justin said, people think they're volunteering, but they end up getting way more out of being a part of such incredible people than the athletes do having them around. So if you want to volunteer, again, the website is soill.org, and it's Area 12. And again, the event is October 17th, downtown Belleville, right in front of the office. They're going to block that street off, and Prairie Farms is going to be out there face painting, music, food, prizes, lots of fun. And that starts at noon, but you can head down there a little later because the party's going to go on all night. Thank you all so much for being a part of St. Louis Voices today.
Thanks for having us.
No problem. Thank you.